Today we're bringing it back, and I mean way back to the start of the game. We are talking about an incredible, epic champion who only got stronger over time, which is rather rare because the game's gone through, needless to say, quite a few changes with gear, all of these different set bonuses and passive effects that we have in the game. But this champion, despite many other champions that kind of fall off over time, this one's held its own. So we're talking about an epic champion. Might be time to get him out of the vault, and if you don't have him, you just might not want to click away yet, because you're probably going to want to know what this guy can do to your team if you face him specifically in player versus player content. What up, team? It is MurderInc here, back with a Reach Out Legends video talking about Basher. Epic Void Champion Basher. Now, not that easy to get. Why is he not that easy to get? Because he is the color purple. Everyone knows the color purple is much harder to get. I don't know why I'm saying purple. I really don't. I should be saying void. Voids are harder to get in general because we all know voids, they just don't drop in enough spots in the game. It is what it is. But we have a Skinwalker epic based attack champion here in front of us, and like I said in the intro, he's only gotten stronger over time. So if he's in your vault, you might want to check, double check if he's hiding somewhere, Vault Guardian, wherever you may have him hidden. Because this guy's good. He's not just good, he's actually very strong. And like I said before, he's only gotten stronger over time. Where he was once considered just a PvP champion, he has lots of use in player versus environment or PvE content, which is most of the content in this game. The part where he's going to struggle the most, he's not that good, bosses. That's it. Everything else, he's very strong. Why is that? Let's go over his kit really quick. With a weaken on the A1, there's an argument to say, okay, he's void, no weak hits. He has a very high chance, 75%, one of the highest A1 debuffing percentages you will see. For weaken, everyone loves weaken. So there is some boss value here. But what we really want to talk about is this A2 ability. Attacks all enemies, increase the cooldown of all the target's skills by 2 turns. Now this is really strong. It's a 3-turn cooldown and it applies to 2 turns. So you can already see where this is strong in PvP. All PvP, live arena, 3v3, classic arena, but also in dungeon waves. Because if the enemy is only using A1 abilities, there's no harm done. Because if the enemy waves are only using their A1s, you're fine, right? If you have a team that's built properly, you're in no stress of anything. Next, we have this A3 here, which, I mean, it's okay. It attacks 4 times at random. I hate at random. If you've watched me for a while, you know that. 75 up to 100% chance of placing a block buffs for 2 turns. Again, the fact that 4 of these can hit 1 champion in a wave, it's dumb. But his A2 is so strong that this is a terrible philosophy that they have, but if they made this in AoE, it would be way better than it currently is for his A3, but it's hard to kind of make a case, besides it being awful champion design, that they should make this, because his A2 is just incredibly strong. Next we have an aura, kind of who cares, LA HP in all battles. If you need it, for sure. I'm pretty sure most of the starting champions have an HP aura, so you're probably not going to need that for most content. So what happened with this champion? Why didn't he fall off where many other champions did fall off? And why is he kind of increased in power? He increased in power because of the Stoneskin gear set. Prior to Stoneskin, it would have been very hard to keep this guy alive. We can see his base stats on the screen here. 13.5 thousand health, 903 defense, 95 speed. Sure, you can pair him with an overpowered Duchess, but his base stats are very low. Instead, we can now give him 4 pieces of Stoneskin with that 1 turn duration of pretty much immortality here, and he has a chance to get a turn here. So we're going to talk about why he's so good in PvP, which most people knew, but also PvE, which is going to shock people. Not as shocking as the fact that over 50% of you guys aren't currently subscribed to the channel. What are we waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss my next upload, and let's kick it with some more Basher information. So what makes this guy so powerful? That's kind of the question. It's the A2 without a doubt here. So how do we now use this in PvP content? It should be pretty straightforward. You can build this guy crazy fast, high accuracy. He gets a turn, he locks your champions out for 2-turn duration on cooldown, and you just win the fight. Right? Wrong. I mean, I don't want to say wrong. That is one way to build him for sure. However, if you build him that way, you can't really use him anywhere else. That's more of an endgame build if you want this guy just for live arena, 3v3, or classic arena. If you want to get significantly more use out of Basher, this is what you can do. This is a pretty interesting way to approach the whole Basher gearing here. Give him 4 pieces of Stoneskin. Make him slow. Have a champion that cleanses. It doesn't matter who it is. Doom Priest is going to be the best for this, because it doesn't matter if she gets CC'd, she'll always be able to cleanse. What do we want to cleanse? You guessed it. We don't want bombs to happen on Basher, or else the champion's just dead. So we want to be able to make sure we have a failsafe of a cleanse for this champion, or just apply block debuffs to it as well. But cleanse is probably the way to go here. So you want to slow Basher. Why do you want to slow Basher? Because most enemy, okay, we're offense, they're defense, most enemy teams have slow Stoneskin champions. So by making Basher slow, we are going to lock out their cooldowns. So every turn they have under their own Stoneskin buff, which is 2 turns, what does his A2 do? Let's just look at it one more time just to triple check here. All skills by 2 turns. So they're going to be withering away using A1 after A1 while protected by Stoneskin, making that set irrelevant for them. Completely irrelevant. You just took them out of the equation. Are your fights going to be longer? Sure. Do you care? Why would you? Because you pretty much win. Once that second turn comes up and the Stoneskin buff wears off, they can use abilities again, but they're unprotected. That's the key here. So if you've been managing your cooldowns properly while using a slow Basher, you're just going to one-shot them. They no longer have reaction gear. They're completely defenseless and unprotected. None of them have been able to use any type of cooldowns thus far, so you are sitting pretty, my friends. Why is this build so strong? Because it also translates to PvE content as well. This is the key here. If you go with the fast build, there's no PvE content that requires insanely fast champions. So you're pretty much wasting all of that extra speed and accuracy that you would be building for the arena kind of into the void here, and you're going to be lacking survivability incredibly unless you can get some type of tanky OP champion on your team here. What does Stoneskin do? Like we already established, it protects you. It lets you be slow, and it ensures you get those lockouts whatever the enemy wave is in front of you, so then you can start pumping damage into the wave, and your team is rather safe. This is great for teams who don't have champions like Rector Drath, Duchess, Pythion, if for some reason you don't have Pythion and didn't fuse him. Any overpowered champions that you don't have or can't afford to use in certain PvE content, Basher can take that spot because, like I said, it's only a 3-turn cooldown, so you have lots of wiggle room with how often you can use that A2. But once again, when it gets to bosses, you're going to need the remaining 4 champions of your team to carry their own weight with this. So that goes, how are we going to build this champion? Fantastic question here. So the first thing I want to do is look for an accuracy chess piece. I would recommend that pretty much for anybody watching this. I don't think there's going to be any exceptions as far as that. Now, Stoneskin gear to a lot of players isn't going to be as common, so finding an accuracy chess piece may not be the easiest and most realistic thing to do for most players. You only need 4 pieces, so remember that. If this is the case for you, just take an accuracy chess piece for any other set that complements Basher the best. The next thing we want to do is throw together as much accuracy as possible. So let's go ahead and filter our gear here. We're just going to be looking for, speed boots and Stoneskin with accuracy substat. Again, being a new set, not as common, but the top row pieces plus the glove, we're just going to search this, go to substats, click accuracy here, and we're going to find our best roll. We have a double roll because mythical gear here, that's not rolled. double roll there, triple roll here. I'm saying triple because it's the base plus 2, so we'll just call it a double roll. So double roll here, the rest were single rolls, so double's the highest so far. Going once, double with the max glyph, we're just going to take it. Moving on to the helmet here, accuracy, double roll there, double any triples, going once, going twice, and sold, no triples. If you can avoid speed, do it, but you don't have to worry about that too much because he's going to be pretty slow because he's using Stoneskin gear. We have a double for the first shield we clicked here. There's a triple roll. Let's just hone on in there and click that. The next thing, you're probably going to want perception gear. I know it has speed on it. If you want to swap perception gear with accuracy gear, you can absolutely do that. But the goal here is to have a respectable amount of accuracy. We don't care about HP, we don't care about defense, and we don't care about speed, which is the highlight point of this secondary build that I would recommend to pretty much most people. So with that being said, I don't have a ton of boots because I'm dumb and don't have it highlighted. Don't mind me. Okay, here we go. So we're going to want speed on the boots. You could run something else, but you don't want to be crazy slow. Some people run crazy slow Stoneskin, but it doesn't really matter if you outspeed them by 40 speed, 30 speed. It doesn't matter too much. So we got this going on here. As far as the accessories go, again, you can kind of pick what you want here. If you have refresh gear, that's not a bad idea, but you're really focusing on accuracy across the board. It's going to be very, very important. The more accuracy, the less likely you are to get resisted, and nobody likes to get resisted. So let's equip this. We're looking for accuracy on the necklace for sure. Any rolls? There's a, okay, triple, beautiful. Now for the final piece, we can give him survivability if you want. I guess he's an attack-based champion, so don't do this, but he could hit pretty hard if you crit cap him. But to crit cap in Stoneskin gear with a lot of accuracy, I just wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't. It's hard build. If you're endgame, go for it, but I mean, it's up to you again. So ideally, I'm focusing on HP. The reaction isn't going to matter at all. So HP and defense percent, that's decent. Defense HP percent, let's go with the first iteration of this. And yeah, okay, so this is fine here. Okay, now our build's perfect. Then as far as masteries go, what are we going to do? The smartest thing to do is, if using them for PvP, so live arena, classic, 3v3, all that good stuff, only, you're probably going to want the Eagle Eye Mastery on the bottom of the support tree. If you are not, then you're going to have to make a choice. PvE content, of course, War Master scales to the moon as far as what's good and what's bad. You're not going to get full value out of this from player versus player, but how strong it is for all other content is pretty strong, unless you're okay and have champions that can carry boss damage. If you can in fact carry all boss damage, then you can decide between Eagle Eye and even Bulwark. Now, why would we ever consider Bulwark? Because he's going to be wearing Stoneskin gear for one turn. And the fact that he's most likely going to be slower than most champions in your team here, besides your nuker, of course. I don't think I mentioned that before, but he should always be faster than your nuker, no matter what. Which means it's easier for you to wear attack percent boots, HP or defense percent boots, depending on what type of nuker you are in fact using. So we have Bulwark, like I said, as the secondary option, but mainly Eagle Eye is going to be the highest value in something like player versus player. So I'm just going to build a really quick tree here. So as we can see here, this is going to be the typical tree you're probably going to want to use if you are PvP focused. And if you do choose to swap anything at all, it would be Eagle Eye for Bulwark. And the second variation would be a mix between either offense with War Master and support, or offense with War Master and defense. There's no reason not to go for as much accuracy as possible, so I believe offense and support, if you choose to go the War Master route, is going to be the strongest for you and your team as a whole. But this is going to vary between an account to account basis. So now that we've done that, let's showcase what I'm talking about. First, we'll claim the mini pack. Fine. Free gift's a free gift, right? Mini pack has been claimed, so let's head straight to the arena. Now, I realize I'm in a low arena. This is just to showcase how this is going to work. Okay, so we have this team here for sure. there's going to be some sort of Stoneskin in this group here. There's gotta be. If there isn't, I will be so shocked. So we have this going on here. We have Arbiter for the attack up. I don't want to say it's not going to be ideal to run a turn meter booster because they're so common, but you can get away with it. It's not going to be the end of the world if you're slightly faster while using this Basher strategy. So, of course, we have to put in Basher here. Who's going to be the third? Probably Lydia. Lydia. So don't start on auto. We want to showcase what's going on here. Here we go. And, of course, the one team I pick, this is why I shouldn't be in Gold 3. This team's supposed to have Stoneskin everywhere, but it has none. So now what do? We just lock the cooldowns. And it's GG's. Let's target that guy. Yeah, this is just game over. So now quick and easy. Doesn't matter too much. This was a terrible showcase. Not even going to say it's a decent showcase. It's a terrible showcase. We're looking for Stoneskin gear. Okay, let's finish off Ultimate Death Knight here. Bada bing, bada boom. And GG's. Okay. Stoneskin. Sure. What the hell is this team? Now, I'm not running a cleanser, so this is something where I would actively avoid a team with whatever this guy's name is. I forget it, so I want to click on him. Soul Drinker. Really strong champion for like anti-bomb reasons. Could go against this. What are the odds there's any Stoneskin here? Probably not high, but let's just check. Come on. No Stoneskin again. Okay, so I definitely should not be this low here. Let's go ahead and lock them out. Now it's just GG's. So this is a better example of if you wanted to build Basher kind of fast with accuracy, this is the type of strategy you'd be going for right here. Lydia, great synergy, of course, because if they do burn through or resist that cooldown reduction there, Lydia is there to be the failsafe, so no revives can go off, and you can continue on just having a grand old time smoking these teams. Kind of like I am, but you would be doing it on an even-keeled level for sure here. This team, yeah, there's no way. So, unfortunately, you know what? I'll refresh just for the video here. So we get a Warlord here. Now, this is the thing. If you're going to face a team with another lockout champion, don't. Because you have to understand if you're going to do that, it's going to be a speed race. If you're not confident in your speed, then just don't do it. If you are, and you think you're fast, and you're speed tuned properly, and they don't have anything like the blessing that reduces your turn meter, which I believe is timely. What is the name of it? Now I have to look at it. I know I have it on somebody. It's gonna be on the Warlord for sure. So I forget the name of it, but whatever the hourglass, someone can let me know in the comments what it's called. Timely intervention. It's at the tip of my tongue, but I don't know it. Anyways, if you don't have the hourglass blessing that reduces the turn meter, don't try to win speed races unless you're really, really confident. So we're going to skip this team. Not that I'm not confident, but we're looking for Stoneskin. That is the point of this video. Surely Cardinal is going to be the answer here. Surely. Okay, beautiful. Attack up. Defense down and weaken. Bam. Now they have nothing to do, right? Now we just cooked their entire strategy. We just throw an A1 here. Throw this on auto. Okay, Cardinal, your turn. What are you going to do? A1? Fine. A1's in A1. Okay, I mean, ideally you don't have a champion like a +4 turbo that's just going to break through. Yeah, I'm really regretting being in Gold 3 right now for this video. But you kind of see my point, right? The Cardinal was the focal point of that whole strategy, that whole team, and Basher just eliminates it. Now, you might be thinking, Murder, this is the same thing as a Warlord. It is. So if you have a Warlord and you want to copy the same strategy, Stoneskin gear, making it on par with their Stoneskin gear, you can do that. Or you can attempt to lap them. The reason why I'm going away from the most common endgame build is because the average player doesn't have the gear to start lapping Stoneskin champions. If you feel like your account's at a level where you can get 360 to 380 speed with high accuracy, go for it. But, like I said, the majority of players aren't going to have that. You're not going to be going twice per every one Stoneskin turn. If you are, you probably don't even need a guide, so you wouldn't have clicked on this video anyways. So with that being said, I guess we can attempt to find just one more. This is a bomb team. Maybe I can throw in a cleanser instead of you. Who do we have as a cleanser? Mithrala, very strong cleanser. So was Raglan. I know I'm on legendaries, but that's just where we have landed here. So let's go ahead with this. And they have no Stoneskin, so we're just gonna full send. And another good thing here is you might have noticed your Mithrala went before their bomb champion. Who else went before my bomb champion? Yes, the one that locked out the bomb champion, further protecting it from any type of danger. So this is why cleanser first and then Basher or any lockout champion. Of course, we're talking about Basher in this video here. It's like a double failsafe. If the bomb doesn't go off and the cleanse happens first, you know your speed tunes to where Basher is going to go next. Lock out that bomb champion and you are completely fine and smooth sailing from there on out. So this is going to be our last hope here. Hopefully there's some Stoneskin gear. Not that confident because they are kind of a low level and just as I thought. So we're going to run with this here. Probably should have went with what's your face, Lydia instead, but it is what it is. Okay, we got Hex going on here. We got the A1s pouring through, to be expected. One champion down, two champions down. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Counterattack's going to come in. This is where it can get kind of scary here, which is why it's ideal to run some type of reviver, whether it's Arbiter, Duchess, Rector Drath, Godseeker Neri, anybody you have that can revive, just in case something goes wrong. And of course, we have Mithril on top of that to kind of back up the support there. So this is the team, this is the strat, this is the conceptualized idea of how this is going to work to the majority of players' benefit, not just the 0.001% that have crazy stats in their Warlords, Yumeikos, even Basher. Like, you can use Basher in the highest end and still be fine. Of course, he's not as good, but he shouldn't be because he is an epic champion, but he's still busted for most of the players in this game. And I don't really have to showcase, based on what I just showed you guys, any of the waves of the dungeons. Who is this going to be good for? Literally anybody without a seer. If you don't have a seer, just throw in Basher and let me know how it goes. You are going to be surprised as to most people can't nuke and one-shot a wave without a seer, or poison explosion, any type of those cheesy comps that does one-shot. And the amount of players that have that, again, are not very high. So, if you're one of those players, use a Basher, lock out the waves, GG. You get to nuke 2 times before the enemy wave poses any real threat to you, and you are just smooth sailing from there on out. So let me know who here has a Basher that's been hiding away into the vault, or if you don't have a Basher, congratulations. Now you know what they do, how much of a problem they can be. If you want to counter it, you can use a rare, actually. Sorry, Basher users, I know this is a Basher guide. I know we're hunting with Bashers right now, but you can actually use a rare to counter Basher. What rare is that? The rare is going to be Renegade. What does Renegade do? Let's take a look at the skills here. Decrease the cooldown of all ally skills by 2 turns. So what do you do with a Renegade? You guessed it. You stack as much resistance as you possibly can. I mean, as much resistance as ever. And then you just throw her in as slow as possible. You want to keep her as close to base speed as possible. So that way, Basher goes, locks out your team, you're sitting there crying. Then Renegade swoops in as a void rare champion and resets the cooldown of everybody that just got increased, and I mean, there's really nothing to talk about here. This is a complete equalizer of Basher. So, Bash users, sorry, Basher's good. Here's a way to counter it. Same thing works with Warlord and Kymar. If you have a Kymar, you can build it with full resistance, have it go slow-ish, not too slow for that, because it's usually used in high-end teams competing against 400 plus effective speed champions. But full resistance Kymar and something like immunity gear, very common counter to the fast Warlord or Yumeko for sure. So that's going to conclude this video. Let me know in the comments if you have Basher, if you plan on using Basher, if you've been sitting collecting dust in your vaults. Time to get him out. Time to get this champion out. As always, it's been my pleasure making this video for you. If you enjoyed this content, smash the like button, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and I'll see you all in the next upload.